Understanding course materials is pretty complex. There's a lot of possibilities. I'm going to walk you through the basics of things, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to actually explore these and play with them to understand them in the greatest depth. So I'm going to go into a course. I'm just going to choose this one that I'm in right now. And under the materials section in my left navigation bar, if I go to add materials, I can definitely add folders, and this is really smart to do, is keep everything organized in folders. The nice thing about folders is if you have them organized, you can actually make them available to students or not. You can make them invisible. You can move everything in that folder to your resources or to another course very easily. So folders are very helpful. Assignments. If I open up the add assignment here, I have to name it, do a description, and I have all these rich text items right here, and I can add pictures and videos into the assignments. As a matter of fact, that's how I'm doing a lot of this. You can put in a due date and how many points this assignment is worth, and you can choose a grading category for your Schoology gradebook. If you leave it ungraded, no points will be awarded. It'll just be collected. Yeah. And down here, you can also use numeric or letter grading, or you can grade with rubrics. More of that coming later. Down below, I don't have to give this assignment to everybody all at once. I can give it to individual kids or individual groups of kids using this individually assigned button. I can attach learning objectives to this assignment. I can lock it so that nobody can interact with it. I can turn on the submission box so that I'm expecting kids to turn in something, or if I turn this off, then nothing is to be submitted. It's just an assignment in there. I suggest that you do this as much as possible with a one-to-one environment. Is even if an assignment is not digital, throw it into Schoology and turn off this box. What that does is it creates a planner for all your students, and their parents will know what assignments are going on and so on and so forth. Using Schoology as your digital chalkboard is definitely a great practice. I'm going to turn that back on. Then down here, this is so that this assignment is visible to students. I may want to write some assignments that I know I'm going to do in the fall, but I don't want kids to see it now, so I'll just turn it off, and then when I want the kids to be able to see it, I can turn that assignment back on. Grading statistics. This is interesting because if I turn this on, students can see how everyone else in their class has done in comparison to themselves, but this is all anonymous too. Comments. This right below the assignment is a place for students to comment on the assignment. Like, I didn't understand this, or is this okay? You can turn that on or off. And lastly, over here is the copy to courses. If I click on this, I can take this assignment that I'm making and drop it into the other sections of the course that I teach. I'm going to hit cancel. And you can see that this is going to be quite long. I'm going to skip the add test and quiz. I'm going to come back to that last, but adding a file, a link, or an external tool, this allows me to upload a file, add a link to a website. An external tool is nice because if I want to embed a Google document right within Schoology, I can do that here. I'm beginning to explore external tools a little bit more. You can see I have one right here, and it's hidden to everyone except for administrators of the course. I can add a discussion. Discussions are added by simply giving a name and a description, and in the description I can embed movies and pictures and all this rich text editing. I can put a due date on a discussion. I can enable grading and then be able to throw it into any category or create a new one. And again, I can attach a rubric to discussions or do a numeric 1 point, 0 point sort of thing. And I have all of my other advanced tools down here, except for this new one right here. There's two new ones. This is members can see other people's responses before participating. If I turn this on, the student has to actually make a reply before they can see what other students did. Very, 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 very valuable. And down here, shared discussion. I can share a discussion with amongst all of my sections, or I can share a discussion with people in other courses using this button here. Right now, it's only showing mine, but we have in the past patched these up to other people. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to hit cancel. So discussion, I'm going to get into pages later too, because these are very powerful and underused. Adding a media album, if I add a media album, I can have, click this, let's see here, a title and a description. And again, I can allow students to add pictures or videos to a media album. You can have as many albums as you want. You can have a video and picture albums and so on and so forth. This is a great place for people to collaborate and drop in pictures of projects or field trips or whatever. Very interesting. I can import materials from my resources if I have PDFs and stuff like that. Rather than uploading a file, I can move it from my resources. Or I can search publicly shared resources from other Schoology users. I'm going to go back to adding a test or a quiz. When I add a test or a quiz, I'm going to start with a name, and I can throw in a due date and give it a point value, and pick a gradebook category if I do want to grade it. And I'll just leave it there. Pretty soon you'll be able to attach rubrics to tests. That should be coming out very soon. And again, I have these familiar symbols down there. I'm going to hit create. Now, the hard thing about tests and quizzes is that notice the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's either, these are just objective response tools. So I have all these types of questions. I can do true and false, multiple choice, ordering, short answer or essay, fill in the blank, matching. I can create a whole bank of questions in my personal resources and pull them in. I can import and export certain types of open format tests and quizzes. You probably don't have any of those. If you do, let me know. I'll tell you if they'll work or not. I can insert page breaks and insert text blocks to make my tests really dynamic. Now, I'm not going to go into all of these because we could be here forever. But if I go into true and false, notice that where I write my question, I have all this rich text editing. So yes, you can do pictures and videos and links and all this stuff in your questions. Down here, the text for true or false. What is the correct answer? And I can make this a subjective question where it won't be graded, or a timed question. And when I'm done, I'm going to hit create question. Right here's a show feedback. This will say, hey, if he gets something wrong or right, you can have a message there for them saying good job, or don't forget this. And that's pretty much on all of them. But if I go into multiple choice, you're going to see that things change down here. Now here are my choices, and I can add blanks, remove blanks, pick the correct answer, randomize the choices, allow partial credit. So if two are right and they get one right, well, they can get 5 points. This kind of thing. It's in every one of these. They're a little bit different ordering. Again, I have all my rich text editing. And I can put the items in the correct order and allow partial credit if they get some of them in the right order, and so on and so forth. And again, this video is getting long, but I think you get the idea. When it comes to tests and quizzes questions, there are some very fine details between these two. I have settings here too, where I can make the test available now. Or right by default, it's hidden because you don't want kids to see a test right after you write it. You'll want to manually flip it on. This is the number one reason why tests or quizzes don't work right off the bat with new Schoology users. A time limit, sure. And I can say, well, you want 30 minutes to take this. Attempt limit, 2, but keep the highest score or the average of scores. Do I want to randomize the orders? Yes. Do I want to use page breaks between sections or one question per page? By default, that's what it is. You can use a Spanish keyboard. Question review. Do you want them to go back and look at their questions before they submit them? Is it resumable? This means can they exit the test and come back to it later to resume it? Yes or no, that's all up to you depending on the type of test. Also, viewing submissions. So when they're all done and they're graded, do you want them to be able to see their score? Yeah, when you're done, hit Save Changes. You can preview the test. You can see the results of every. Whoops. This probably won't work well. No, there are no results, but you would see a long list of everyone and what they did and what they got right and what they got wrong, and comments that kids have made on this test. So that's pretty much tests and quizzes. But these materials are the building blocks of your courses. So there you go.